Hello everyone. Today I will discuss about introduction of male and female reproductive system. You all know about reproductive system. In reproductive system, one sperm is fertilized, another form, and the main goal is produce an embryo, which means the sexual reproduction is continued by the help of reproductive system. So, firstly, the egg and sperm here is the egg, which is fertilized by an sperm. Then the genetic sex, the gonadal sex, and the sequential event is appeared thoroughly. The external feature is developed external by through the external genitalia, and the secondary sex characteristics is developed. From the phenotypic sex, CNS, means central nervous system is also developed. Here, the pituitary gonadotropin secretion is appear. Then the sexual differentiation. In sexual differentiation, the genetically determined by two chromosomes in male chromosome, the X and Y is present, and in female chromosome only X is present. So the sex determination primarily depends on the presence and absence of Y chromosome. In case of male, the SORI region means the sex determining region is present in Y chromosome when Y is fertilized and X chromosome of female, then the embryo will be male, and when X chromosome of male is fertilized and X chromosome of female, then it will be and female. And so mainly the male is the responsible for producing an embryo sex, which is be male or female. Then the development of gonads in after fertilization of 6 weeks, the um, cortex and medulla is developed from the genital ridge, and from the genital ridge, the cortex and medulla develop. In medulla develops the male and cortex develops the females. So in case of male, the medulla develops into the testes in 7 to 8 weeks. But in case of female, the cortex develops and medulla is regress. Cortex develops into ovary and the medulla is regress. So in case of male, Leydig cell and Sertoli cells appears. Leydig cell secrete testosterone, and testosterone is the main sexual hormone, and Sertoli cells secrete MIS. In the MIS means the Mullerian inhibitory substance, which secretes from the Sertoli cells, and it is inhibit the Mullerian duct, and so the Wolfram duct in case of male is developed, and it developed the male genital system, and in female genital system, the Mullerian duct is developed. So in the genital ridge, from the genital ridge, the medulla region and the cortex region, here the black one is the cortex is developed. Then in case of male, the medullary cords develop, so the cortex is decreased. Here is the cortex which is decreased. When cortex is decreased, the medullary cords forming a retitestis and seminiferous tubules in which the sperm is produced. And in case of medullary cords, the remnant of medullary and medulla is decreased, and cortical cords is developed. Here the cortical cords is developed, and ovarian follicle, here you can see the ovarian follicle is developed. So we can tell that the sexual differentiate depends on XX and XY chromosome. Okay, when Y is fertilized and X, then it will produce an XX. Sorry, when fertilize X, then it is produce an XY. So the Y is responsible for sexual determination. Here is the moral. So here is the sex determination of female, where Mullerian duct develops into the XX chromosome, and here in case of male, the XY chromosome develops into the male, and here Wolfram duct develops into the male, and testis secrete the testosterone, and here the ovaries is formed in case of female. So what is gonad? A gonad is a specialized organ that contains the germ cell. Germ cell means the haploid cell, and the autosomal chromosome and sex chromosome. Autosomal chromosome is diploid, and sex chromosome is haploid, which contain XX in case of female and XY in case of male. So, in case of male, the seminiferous tubules, the epididymis, the testes, vas deferens is the internal organ of male, and in case of female, the ovary, fallopian tube, uterus is the organ which is responsible for the reproduction of female. So, the cells with half of the genetic material known as haploid cells. So, in male reproductive system consists of sex organs that are part of the human reproductive process, which produces, stores, and releases the male gametes, means the sperm. So here is the main function which fertilizes the ovum. So firstly, in testes, the sperm is produced in seminiferous tubules. From seminiferous tubules, it go through the epididymis in outside of the body. The testes produce sperm 300 million each day, but it is depend on the certain temperature, which is 92.3 degree Fahrenheit, and which is maintained by the scrotum, in which the testis is enclosed. And then from epididymis, the sperm go through the vas deferens and enter into the body cavity. From vas deferens, it grow through the seminal vesicle, prostate gland, and then from the prostate gland, beneath the prostate gland, the bulbourethral gland is present, and from this, it ejaculate from the male body into the female body during intercourse. So, in vas deferens, in the seminal vesicle, the 60% of semen is produced, so which is the 60% alkaline in nature, and prostaglandin also secrete alkaline fluid, which is help to survive the sperm in the female genital tract. And in the bulbourethral gland, the pre-ejaculation fluid is secreted. The external genital organ is penis and scrotum. And then testis, what is testis? Testis is located first, in previous slide I tell that where testis is located in the scrotum, which is outside of the body cavity to maintain the temperature, certain temperature to produce the sperm. And first, here is the function of the testis, firstly producing sperm, and another function is the producing testosterone, which is the male reproductive hormone, mainly male sex hormone. And testis is made of tightly coiled structure, which is called seminiferous tubule, in which the sperm is produced and comes through the here. And from this region, it enter into the epididymis here. So next, the epididymis tightly coiled tube here, head of the epididymis, and here the point, head of the epididymis, and then it acts as a maturation. So in this region, sperm gets maturated and storage, and then tail of the epididymis, and it enter into the vas deferens. And here is the vas deferens. The vas deferens is a thin tube rather than the epididymis, which is larger than vas deferens. It is thin, but it is thick and it is thin. And epidermis to the urethra, for it can go through the urethra. I told you in the previous slide, they transport sperm from the epidermis and anticipation, epidermis and so here is the accessory glands of male reproductive system. Firstly, the seminal vesicle, which is located in the seminal vesicle circular gland, which is located posterior of the urinary tract. This is the seminal gland, and below that the prostate gland is located, and below the prostate gland, the bulbourethral gland is located. So seminal vesicle mainly function as the nourishment of the sperm, and the prostate and the bulbourethral prostate each function as the alkaline fluid secretion, which protect the sperm in the female vaginal tract, and the bulbourethral gland is a secret the ejaculation fluid, and so on. So here comes to the end of the male reproductive system. I hope it will help you. your study and the female reproductive system I will discuss in my next video. Thank you for hearing.